Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And a few isolated showers showing up on Doppler 5000 radar. I'll let you know if you'll run into that as you're headed out the door.
And accused of murder, Raleigh police have arrested a man after a deadly shooting outside of a business. What an employee told us happened before shots were fired.
And holiday rush, a live look inside Arty International this morning ahead of one of the busiest days of the year. What you need to know before you make your flight and you travel to the airport, I should
Wherever
say.
you're going,
yes,
yeah.
Wherever you're going. Hey, listen, so glad you're with us here in the 8 o'clock hour. We always appreciate your time. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, a warmer start this morning, weather-wise, that's for sure. Warmer and wetter. Elizabeth still tracking some showers in the area.
We'll start with Doppler 5000 radar. And focus right now is way down here in the Sandhills. We had a couple of sprinkles up near the Virginia line. Those are still lifting northward. So in Person County, as a matter of fact, you might see a little shower. But let's head down to the south, Hoke County and the southern part of Moore County. Right here, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, seeing some light patchy rain rolling through the area right now. Hour by hour forecast, though, brings that chance of rain down as we get through the next couple of hours. And we'll see some sunshine later this afternoon. The cold front will move through, and that's going to push our chance for rain closer to the coast. So you might run into that if you're driving to the coast later on today. And even though it is actually raining here, you can see it. I can see the wet conditions there in front of the clubhouse, and people are out there with their umbrellas. There's wet conditions on the golf course. They are playing golf anyway. It's warm. I guess they have that. 63 degrees. And I guess if you paid for that tee time, you're going to be there, right? Southwest wind at around 10 miles per hour. Our temperatures across the viewing area are in the low to mid 60s. And it does stay warm this afternoon in the mid 70s. And sunshine breaks out today, too. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We got a real troubled spot there in Johnston County. We're talking about this crash right before the Highway 42 exit there. You can see the delays it's causing almost all the way back to McGee's Crossroads. So your best bet will be to take Highway 7 to Highway 50, Benson Road as an alternate route. Let's take a look at that southern loop of the Beltline. These are westbound lanes moving away from us. But for those of you heading to the southern beaches, maybe Wilmington as well, those are the eastbound lanes of I-40 flowing nicely in all directions. And really that's what we're seeing in most of our major routes heading into the Wake County area, except for US 1 coming in from Wake Forest and Capitol Boulevard. You're looking at an 11-minute delay. So that's a combination of the usual morning commute and the traffic signals there on US 1 Capitol Boulevard. You're just looking at a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale. So things are flowing rather smoothly on I-87 at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. A man is facing a murder charge after a deadly shooting near Briar Creek. Demory Woods is expected to appear in court later today. Raleigh police say Woods shot 26-year-old Darian Hewitt. Hewitt later died from his injuries at the hospital. The shooting happened just after 5 o'clock last night. That was outside of business on Mount Herman Road. An employee at the business tells us the shooting started after an argument between two co-workers. Woods is expected to face a judge at 1:30 this afternoon. Also happening today, a suspect in a road rage shooting in Wake County is expected to appear in court. 24-year-old Ruben Santiago is being charged with murder after a shooting last week on US 64 that killed 55-year-old Derek Godwin. WRAL was there as he was booked into jail. Godwin's sister says he was shot in the head last Thursday while he was on his way to work. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. He died on Sunday.
He had this most contagious laugh. It was almost like a cartoon character kind of laugh. That's probably one of the things I'm going to miss the most because he was so funny.
That is so heartbreaking. Authorities are also investigating a recent deadly shooting on Nightdale Boulevard. The Wake County Sheriff's Office says they have identified a suspect, but no charges have been filed yet.
New this morning, a Harnett County correctional employee is scheduled to appear in court in a few hours. Lillington police arrested Pamela Snow for allegedly engaging in a sexual act with an inmate at the Harnett Correctional Institution. Furman Richardson is serving a life sentence for murder. We've asked the prison about Snow's role at that facility. We're waiting to hear back. Snow is expected in court around 10:45 this morning. Giving you another live look at roads this morning. This is I-40 and Jones Sausage Road. It is expected to be a busy Thanksgiving holiday on the roads. AAA predicting more than 70 million people all across the country will travel by car over the course of this holiday weekend. And today is also expected to be a very busy day at RDU International, and that's where we find WRAL's Ali Kadlabar reporting from the airport. Plenty of foot traffic earlier this morning, but things have really calmed down a bit.
Very calm right now, Ken. We are seeing little to no lines here at security at Terminal 2. We're even seeing some TSA employees waiting for travelers to pass through. But this doesn't mean you shouldn't get here early. The FAA says that there's more than 50,000 flights scheduled across the nation today. I counted more than 400 scheduled here at RDU. It's one of the busiest travel days of the year, and the FAA says the main reason travelers would see delays would be weather, not staffing issues. The busy holiday travel comes just 2 weeks after the government reopened, and just this week, TSA workers received back pay. Now, we spoke with a traveler who says that she canceled her Christmas plans because of the government shutdown, but she's grateful that Thanksgiving plans are not affected.
We were planning to go to Ghana for Christmas, so we postponed that to next year. So we were very grateful that the government shutdown did end. So we went ahead and continued our plans for Orlando.
And I do want to add that we spoke with somebody who says that they had to reschedule their flight because they got here an hour before instead of 2 hours, so they missed the cutoff to check in their luggage. So make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time. Of course, we're staying on top of this, keeping you updated throughout the morning. Reporting live at RDU, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
We're also tracking the gas prices all across our state as many of you prepare to head out on the roadways. According to AAA, the average for a gallon of gas in Raleigh is around $2.85. It's about $2.82 in Greensboro and $2.80 in the Charlotte area. We're also tracking prices in the Triangle. Just head the WRAL News app or website and search fuel to find our fuel tracker.
Happening this morning, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office says a person is in the hospital after a deputy shot him. This happened last night on Camden Road, just outside Fayetteville. The Sheriff's Office says a deputy was responding to a domestic call just after 6:30. This is when they say someone lunged the deputy with a knife, and the deputy shot them. We are still trying to figure out what the man's condition is this morning. The Sheriff's Office says the SBI will be coming to investigate this morning. And breaking news from Hong Kong in the last hour, we have learned at least 13 people have died in a massive fire across 7 high-rise apartments. This is a live look at that fire right now. You can see firefighters trying to contain the blaze as much as they can. Officials say at least 15 others have been hurt in this. At least 700 have been evacuated and taken to temporary shelters. Crews still working to put out that fire.
Well, President Trump is in Florida this morning as he spends the Thanksgiving holiday in Mar-a-Lago. The holiday comes as the White House is holding meetings to end Russia's war with Ukraine. Earlier this week, Trump said he wants Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to accept a peace plan by Thanksgiving. Last night in Air Force One, the president says there's optimism of a deal being reached, but it has been harder than expected.
People are starting to realize it's a good deal for both parties and they got to stop the war. They're losing a lot of people, a lot of soldiers, mostly soldiers.
Being here. Thanks so much.
President Trump also noted Zelensky wants to meet with him. The president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, could potentially visit Moscow next week to continue negotiations.
And happening today in Rayford, the Hope County Sheriff's Office will be hosting its pre-Thanksgiving Feed the Hungry event. Employees will be giving out plates of food starting at noon. It will be first come, first serve until food runs out. That will be at the Sheriff's Office on East Central Avenue. Hockey for the holidays is back on WRAL tonight. The Carolina Hurricanes take on a divisional rival, the New York Rangers. And WRAL's Laura Levine is live at Lenovo Center this morning. Laura, this is the 3rd consecutive year of WRAL pairing up with the Canes to expand access to fans. This game is always so much fun. Really divided. A lot of Rangers fans show up, too.
Yes, it really is, Michelle. You know the Lenovo Center here is going to be rocking tonight. Behind me, you can see that they're getting the ice ready this morning because the team actually has a practice skate around 10:30 a.m. But yes, the Carolina Hurricanes are back on home ice after that long stretch on the road. And tonight, they'll be facing the New York Rangers. And you can watch it from the comfort of your living room. Here's a look at when the Canes played the Rangers on the road earlier this month. The last time these two squads faced off, the Hurricanes came away with a 3-0 win, and both teams have proven that they can grind it out in games. So Carolina is in a much different position, however, than the Rangers, currently holding the best record in the Eastern Conference. But this will be their first game back home after a 4-game road trip where they went 2-1. We spoke with players excited to be back home doing what they love ahead of Thanksgiving.
I think we were on a 7-game stretch at home, so it feels like we've been gone all year. I know my wife feels the same way and my kids, so happy to be home, excited to be here for the holiday.
And as just mentioned, this is the third straight year that we're able to really partner WRAL with the NHL to bring the game to your television screen. The puck drops at 7 p.m. Laura Levine, WRAL News. We're live in Raleigh.
All right, coming up, withholding critical details. Families of the victims of a Raleigh mass shooting want to know all the information about the suspect's mental health. The new motion to push lawyers to tell the full story.
And RTP rezoning changes. Wake County and Durham leaders are on board the proposal that could bring new retail and housing opportunities to Research Triangle Park.
And gray skies will greet you this morning, along with a little patchy rain. It's not everywhere, but I'll let you know if you'll run into it as you're heading out the door or for your travels. 8:14. The radar is fairly quiet, but we do have some light showers that have redeveloped down here in the Sandhills and lifting northward. We also had a little shower roll through Person County right around Roxborough. But our chance of rain will continue to drop over the next couple of hours. Sunshine returns gradually this afternoon from west to east, and it'll be a little breezy and warm out there. We take a look at what to expect as we get through the afternoon. It's right now 63 in Durham and Raleigh and 64 in Fayetteville. Lots of clouds now, but we'll see our highs climbing into the mid 70s. If you're headed out for the hockey game, which of course you can watch here on WRAL this evening, it'll be fine for tailgating. Our temperatures will be in the 60s for tailgating and then into the mid 50s by 10 o'clock and then turning much, much colder for Saturday. If you're headed out for football, the Duke game against Wake Forest, 46 degrees at game time at 3:30 and at 7:30, 37 for State and Carolina. Almost cold enough for snow. Meteorologist Chris Michael is coming up to talk about the only snow that we've ever seen at RDU for Thanksgiving, Kid.
All right, here in the traffic center, we're keeping track of your travel plans. Let's start on the roadways, I-40 and Jones Sausage Road. These are the eastbound lanes coming toward us, flowing at a nice steady clip for those of you heading to Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, or maybe some of those other coastal communities. For those of you getting ready for a flight today, we've checked all the routes headed to RDU International, short of a 2-minute delay on Highway 70. All the other routes to RDU International delay-free at this hour.
And getting a look at the delays and cancellations. Travel-wise, at the airport, RDU looking like 7 delays and 0 cancellations right now. That's good. Misery map from FlightAware. Things are looking not too bad across the United States. Only 50 delays and 3 cancellations. If anything were to impact any of these major airports here on the East Coast, likely would be because of weather.
A developing story we are following this morning. Families of the victims of a Raleigh mass shooting are accusing the suspect's lawyers of withholding critical information about the mental health care ahead of trial. The lawyers representing the families filed a motion in Superior Court yesterday. They say Austin Thompson's defense team applied a blanket Fifth Amendment response to all questions. They also say defense lawyers refused to identify Thompson's current mental health care providers or even the medications he's on. Thompson is accused of killing 5 people in 2022 in Raleigh's Headingham neighborhood. He faces 5 counts of murder, among other charges. Authorities in Virginia are searching for a high school football coach this morning. He is wanted on several counts of possessing child pornography and using a computer to solicit a minor. The last time 46-year-old Travis Turner was seen was last week. Investigators learned that he was missing as they were heading to his house. Authorities are using dogs and drones to find him.
Durham leaders approved a plan to revamp Research Triangle Park. Wake County leaders are on board as well. For decades, RTP has been zoned for low-density development with large landscape buffers and office buildings that are mostly single-use. Well, rezoning will allow a wider range of uses, such as housing, retail, and restaurants. Leaders at the Research Triangle Foundation say it addresses the needs of employers and workers.
So what the rezoning does is allows those new types of uses that look a little bit different and feel a little bit different and are a little bit denser and a little bit more urban than our traditional RTP development. The rezoning allows that to happen in RTP moving forward.
Research Triangle Foundation says it will now work with RTP owners and tenants for the next step. That includes adopting development standards and approving design guidelines. That will likely happen next year.
A portion of I-295 in Cumberland County now open for drivers to use. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held yesterday for the final stretch of the 39-mile loop. Teams have been working on the loop for years. The final stretch connects Camden and Rayford roads.
Parts of the Midwest are getting hit with snow and ice as people hit the road for the Thanksgiving holidays. My goodness, you see it right there. Images from North Dakota show some of the dangerous conditions on the road yesterday afternoon. Vehicles were left stranded along highways, and some highways in the Fargo area had closures. The National Weather Service says at least 8 inches of snow fell across portions of that state. Drivers in Minnesota had a similar issue on the roads as well. Video from Minnesota State Patrol shows a pileup of semis on I-94 in the western part of that state. Troopers say there were no injuries in that particular pileup. As of last night, there were more than 180 crashes reported all across the state of Minnesota. More than 20 of those led to injuries.
Well, speaking of snow, Ken, are you looking for snow here this Thanksgiving? You're not going to get it. We're taking you back in time 113 years. Only one living North Carolinian was alive at the time of the storm, but she was a baby. Meteorologist Chris Michaels dug into the archives to show us what caused the historic storm in our area, Chris.
Yeah, she was 7 weeks old at the time, and prior to that, I mean, you look at the historical events that happened in 1912, the Titanic sinking, Woodrow Wilson was elected president. All that happened prior to this storm. And for you baseball fans, Babe Ruth hadn't even made his MLB debut. But when you look back at the actual weather map, and we have that weather map on WRAL.com, you can see the Arctic air coming in and a storm system riding the coast, a textbook storm that we track not as often this time around, right? It just seems like it's hard to get snow around here. But the footprint of it was from the Texas Panhandle to the Florida Panhandle, through the Carolinas, and up into parts of New England. And when you look at the snow totals, granted, there weren't as many observations 113 years ago, we reconstructed this map, and you could see about 2 to 4 inches in the triangle, 1 to 2 inches is what happened in the Sandhills. I'm so happy I work with someone who loves snow as much as I do, Elizabeth. and so this is really cool to see because it's the only snowfall of record on Thanksgiving Day.
And, I was surprised by that. I thought, over 100 years, we would have had to have had, more than one snow at Thanksgiving. Right. But I want to let everybody know how hard Chris worked on this. I mean, there was very little data out here, and we both got excited about the story. And Chris has worked for days to put this together.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has. We're snow lovers, so it was definitely fun to see.
But definitely no snow this time around.
No snow this time around. But, it's going to be awfully cold starting on Thanksgiving Day. Just it's not going to be quite cold enough for snow, and you know how it gets around here. It gets cold enough for snow and nothing happens, and then it warms up right about the time the moisture moves in. We do have a little bit that's trying to creep up from the Sandhills. Let's zoom in here. A little shower just rolled across Fayetteville and through Southern Pines up towards Sanford. Some of that's likely to hit at least the southern part of Wake County here in the next 30 minutes or so, but it's very light and patchy. The cold front moving on through. You can see that rain is just ahead of the cold front. So once the cold front moves by, once that last band of rain moves through, we're pretty much done with it. There might be an isolated thunderstorm closer to the coast, but that's not likely to affect us here. So this is 8 o'clock, and we'll roll through time, and you can see, pretty much after 8:30, the bulk of the rain just shifts on to the east, and we'll end up with clearing, especially from the triangle westward. The clouds look like they want to hold there in our eastern counties. But here's a look at your travel forecast. If you're headed to the coast, it'll be cloudier. You might run through an isolated thunderstorm Headed back to the west, you'll see increasing sunshine and nice and mild. I mean, even in Boone, just 55 degrees for the afternoon. And the amount of rain that we see along this front is minimal, somewhere around 1/10 of an inch or so. Behind the front, here comes a big blast of Arctic air, some of the coldest air that we've seen so far this season. Turkey trot for tomorrow. Temperatures at race time close to 40, ending at around 44, and we only climb up to 53 for the high tomorrow. Then on Friday night, we're going to see the temperature, or I should say Thursday night, the wind chill is in the 20s, and Friday night, the temperature is in the 20s, so it's getting cold, Ken.
Yeah, but good running weather for turkey trots tomorrow.
Definitely.
Hey, listen, we're staying on top of the situation in Johnston County this morning. This crash right here causing quite a bit of backup. It's right just before you get to the Highway 42 exit there near Clayton. It's backup that's almost back to McGee's Crossroads. So I would recommend if you're coming in from McGee's Crossroads or All Point South, you might want to use Highway 50 or Benson Road as an alternate route. Tell your friends and family as well. Here's a look at that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and Lakeview Road. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. But for you folks heading maybe to Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, or any of the southern coastal communities, I-40 eastbound flowing nicely in, at a nice steady clip, I should say. And in terms of that southern loop, up and down the board, I-40 westbound, delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Storing the stuffing. Now that it's almost time for turkey, it's time to start thinking about those leftovers. Back on your side, shares the best picks for making the most of your Turkey Day leftovers. And deal delayed. State officials pushing back incentive deadlines for Apple. What that may mean for its future RTP campus.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Some golfers out in the rain in Pinehurst.
I know, right? What do you even say about this, right? You know, it never rains on the golf course, except we have proof. I mean, we can see the rain on the camera lens. I can see the wet conditions there on the sidewalks. You know, but at least it's not cold. Our temperatures are in the low to mid 60s all across the area, and we're going to climb into the mid 70s this afternoon. And while it's gray and a little bit wet in some places, we are going to see some clearing from west to east later on this afternoon. And then after that, behind the front, our temperatures are really going to take a plunge. I'll show you that coming up on Fox 50.
Elizabeth, we've got a real troubled spot on I-40 westbound there in Johnston County. It's really between Highway 42 and Highway 210 there in Johnston County. This is near Clayton. You can see the huge backup it's causing. So I would recommend using Highway 50 or Benson Road as an alternate route. So if you had friends and family coming in, you might want to give them that information. The only other troubled spot we have is US 1, Capitol Boulevard coming in from Wake Forest. You're looking at a 6-minute delay at this hour. I'll have another update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
Thank you, Ken. Today, a man accused of shooting and killing someone near Briar Creek is expected to appear in court. Demory Woods is charged with murder. Raleigh police say Woods shot 26-year-old Darian Hewitt. Hewitt died at the hospital. Woods is expected to face a judge at 1:30. And you are looking live at RDU this morning. This will be one of the busiest travel days of the year. The FAA says more than 50,000 flights are scheduled today. There are more than 400 scheduled at RDU. They say one of the main causes for delays will be weather, but staffing could also become an issue. Next on Fox 50, the future of Apple's RTP campus after leaders agreed to push back incentive deadlines.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
A little light patchy rain showing up on dual Doppler 5000 radar. I'll let you know if this is something you're going to run into on your travels today.
Also charged with murder, the man accused of shooting and killing another man outside of Raleigh business is set to appear in court today. What employees say happened just moments before.
And holiday travel rush. We are also keeping an eye on the road this morning as you look live at I-40 on the left and in the skies as well. You're taking a live look at RDU on the right. What you need to know before heading to the airport. One of the busiest days to travel if you are traveling. Good luck to you if you are. We'll tell you all that you need to know here on Fox 50. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Ken Smith here. We were in that travel rush at the airport last year.
Was it crazy?
It wasn't too bad, actually, because if you fly mid-morning, you're golden. You're golden. So let's see if we're golden if you're heading out weather-wise. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Weather Center.
Maybe golden this afternoon. The sun should come out, at least from the Triangle area westward. But we've had another band of rain develop. We were sort of in the clear, not clear skies, but in the clear in terms of precipitation a little while ago. But we've had this next band move through. So a little bit of rain pushing through Sanford. Definitely seeing some of it in Southern Pines on some of the cameras with the golfers out there in the rain anyway. Andrew, you're seeing a shower and just the southern part of Wake County. That is probably going to make it all the way up here into Raleigh, but it's very light and patchy, and the chances of rain will continue to go down between now and lunchtime. Some clearing this afternoon, and then the rain shifts all the way toward the coast. It's a little wet here in Sanford. There's definitely a little light rain that's coming through. 63 is our temperature. Our wind is steady out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour, so that's keeping the warmth around. Looking at low to mid 60s everywhere, and we climb into the mid 70s this afternoon. If you like the warm temperatures, soak it in, because starting tonight and into tomorrow, it will look quite different, Ken.
Elizabeth, at 8:31, we're staying on top of that congestion that we've been seeing on I-40 in Johnston County this morning. It's a situation where that crash has happened. It's causing delays between Highway 42 and the Beltline. So here's what we're looking at right now. There's I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning, not causing any problems for you this morning. So if you're coming east on I-40 eastbound, say you're going maybe to Wilmington, you're going to Riceville Beach, or it's a situation where you got a good thing going. Now, right now, this is the crash I was telling you about, I-440 westbound right now between Highway 42 and Highway 210. I'll tell you what, if you have friends and family coming in from Johnston County or all points south, you might want to have them take Highway 50 as an alternate route because of what we're seeing there on I-40. Once again, this I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, things are flowing nicely at a nice steady clip in all directions. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. We're also staying on top of breaking news. A man is charged with murder after a shooting near Briar Creek. Demory Woods is expected to appear in court later today. Raleigh police say Woods shot 26-year-old Darian Hewitt. Hewitt later died from his injuries at the hospital. The shooting happened just after 5 o'clock last night outside a business on Mount Herman Road. An employee at the business tells us that the shooting started after an argument between two co-workers. Woods is expected to face a judge at 1:30.
A suspect in one of those two road rages incident in Wake County is expected to appear in court today. 24-year-old Ruben Santiago is being charged with murder. Investigators say he's the suspect in a deadly shooting on US 64 last week. 55-year-old Derek Godwin was killed. Godwin's sister says he was shot in the head last Thursday while he was on the way to work. He was taken to a hospital and died Sunday. Santiago will be in court this afternoon at 1:30.
Time is 8:34 here in the WRAL Live Center, and I do have a breaking update right now from Rocky Mount Police. Within the past 10 or 15 minutes, they say one person is dead and another person was injured in an overnight shooting. Let me show you where this happened. This was on South Franklin Road, or Franklin Street, I should say, in Rocky Mount. This gives you an idea of what the road looks like. They say officers found two shooting victims overnight after this shooting was reported. One person died right there at the scene, and the other person was taken to the hospital, but it's unclear how that person's doing right now. Police are asking anyone who may know anything about this shooting to please come forward.
We are just a day away from Thanksgiving, and the holiday rush is here. According to AAA, nearly 73 million are expected to drive as we look live at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. But many of you may be taking that longer trip and you have to fly. Roughly 6 million are expected to take to the skies as we take a live look outside RDU. That's where we find WRAL's Ali Kalabar. She's inside RDU to walk us through what you're seeing right now. Looks like it's calmed down a little bit, Ali.
Very calm, Michelle, and it's been kind of calming down throughout the morning. We're seeing even TSA workers waiting for a traveler to pass through. Travelers just flying through, breezing through security right here. But doesn't mean you shouldn't plan ahead and get here early, because the FAA does say that there's more than 50,000 flights scheduled across the nation today. I counted more than 400 here at RDU. The FAA says the main reason travelers would see delays today would be weather, not staffing issues. The busy holiday travel comes just 2 weeks after the government reopened, and just this week, TSA workers received their back pay. Now, we spoke with a traveler just within the past 30 minutes who had a backup plan whenever the government was shut down for these travel plans, but she says that she is grateful she didn't have to use it.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, obviously the most important thing is that the flight goes smoothly. This piece I'll get through. I'll get through clear and like pre-check. I'll fly through security, go to the Delta Lounge, and then make my way.
Man, that feeling of relief showing up to the airport, not seeing a line. Hopefully it stays like this throughout the day, but we are seeing some delays here. FlightAware says there are 8 delays at RDU, and so of course we are staying on top of this throughout the day on WRAL. Reporting live at RDU, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
And if you plan to drive for Thanksgiving, gas prices are holding steady. The national average for a gallon this morning is $3.04. Here's a look at the prices across our state. In Raleigh, you'll pay $2.85 a gallon. If you fill up in Asheville near the mountains, you'll pay $2.81 a gallon. And if you're heading toward the coast to Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, you'll pay $2.82 a gallon. And if you would like to check gas prices where you are headed, you can head to our fuel tracker feature on WRAL.com. You can search anywhere across the triangle and across the U.S.
Right now, we're working to learn more about a person in the hospital after Cumberland County deputies shot that person. And this is someone investigators say was a threat to them. The shooting happened just after 6:30 last night on Camden Road in Fayetteville. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office says deputies were responding to a domestic call. When a deputy arrived, they say they found a suspect with a knife. When that person was told to drop it, that person reportedly lunged toward deputies. That's when a deputy fired. Take a listen to the radio traffic from Broadcastify.
Shots fired, shots fired. I have a report of shots fired at 6707 Camden Road. Home Mills 164 is en route. There are at least one CCSO officer on scene at this time.
The suspect was taken to Cumberland County Area Hospital. We've reached out to the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office to learn more about this person who's involved and their condition.
A legislative assistant to a state senator is accused of setting fire to a home, and Wake County prosecutors say she may have targeted the wrong home. Diane Cook works for State Senator Norman Sanderson. She appeared before a judge yesterday. Cook is facing a felony charge of arson. A neighbor gave us video of the aftermath. Prosecutors say they have other footage showing Cook using a candle to start the fire. They also say the first home that she targeted would not catch, so she went to the next home and set that home on fire. There were 2 people inside. No word yet on a motive. Chapel Hill's mayor gave us an update on Tropical Storm Chantal recovery efforts. Mayor Jess Anderson says some residents are still living in hotels. However, she expects them to return home early next month. As for businesses, Mayor Anderson says over half of them have reopened, with others making progress. Many in the hardest hit areas are still working to get back on their feet.
Hockey for the holidays back on WRAL. Tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes clash with a divisional rival. We're talking about the New York Rangers. This is a pre-Thanksgiving face-off. WRAL's Laura Levine is at Lenovo Center this morning with this exciting event and expanding access to fans.
We are here inside the Lenovo Center working to find the best seat in the house, and the best seat for you may be the sofa in your living room. The Carolina Hurricanes will be back on home ice tonight after a long stretch on the road. The Canes will take on the New York Rangers. So here's a look at when the Canes played the Rangers on the road earlier this month. The last time these two squads faced off, the Hurricanes came away with a 3-0 win, and both teams have proven that they can grind it out in games. Carolina is in a much different position than the Rangers right now, as they're currently holding the best record in the Eastern Conference. But this will be their first game back at home after a 4-game road trip where they went 2-1-1. So we spoke with players excited to be back home doing what they love ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday.
Being on the road a lot, it feels like, so it'll be nice. We have a nice stretch here being at home, so doesn't mean it's going to get any easier. I think we need to find ways to get points and win hockey games.
And again, you'll be able to watch this game on TV. The puck drops at 7 p.m. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Still to come, Thanksgiving food storage. Now that it's almost time for turkey, it's time to start thinking about storing all of those leftovers. 5 on Your Side shares the best picks for making the most of your turkey and side dishes.
Also, our teacher of the week is 4 years into her second career as an educator, how she's using her experience as a former social worker in the classroom.
And some brief morning showers. This is a live look from Pinehurst. That's not stopping the golfers out there. You may see a few spots of rain on this very busy travel day. Just ahead, Elizabeth Gardner shows us when temperatures will drop by nearly 50 degrees.
.844, taking a look. There's a little bitty line of showers here that popped up. We have a cold front that's crossing the area. This is out ahead of the front. Once all of this passes through our viewing area, that's going to be about it. We do have some scattered light showers that are showing up there in the southern part of Wake County. So if you're about to head out the door here, 8:45, you might run into that from Raleigh southward. But our chance of rain goes down quickly between now and lunchtime. We should see the sunshine breaking out from the west to east across our area through the afternoon. Right now, 64 in Durham and Raleigh, 64 in Fayetteville, a little bit of sunshine trying to peek out there. By the time we get to tailgating time for Hockey for the Holidays, the Hurricanes play this evening. And of course, you can watch it live on WRAL this evening. But if you're headed out to tailgate, temperatures look good. We'll be in the 60s at tailgate time and mid 50s as the game wraps up. We'll see nice clear skies for Saturday's games. Wake Forest plays at Duke, but it'll only be 46 degrees at 3:30 and 7:30 when Carolina and State play, only 37. So it's going to feel like winter Saturday. Ken?
Well, this is happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're helping you with your Thanksgiving travel. Let's start on the roadways, I-40 and Jones Sausage Road. These are the eastbound lanes coming toward us this morning. So if you're headed to Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, other southern coastal communities, it's clear sailing. If you're getting ready to head to the airport for morning or midday flight, here's what you're looking at. No delays whatsoever, short of that 1 minute delay on Highway 70. All the other routes are already international, delay-free right now.
Ken, I'm still keeping my eye on that situation over in Hong Kong, these buildings that are on fire, these high-rise apartment buildings. And I'm looking at new information from reports from overseas, and 7 of the 8 of these buildings are still on fire right now. You'll see it's still pretty intense. We know at least 13 people are now confirmed dead. Previously, we were saying 4, but now that number has been updated to 13, and people are believed to be trapped inside. The fire tore through bamboo scaffolding that was outside the building there. But in terms of when the flames will be out, that is what is unclear, because as you can see, these buildings are massive, and that fire, again, is still burning.
All right, thank you, Chris. Once the Thanksgiving feast is over, you'll want to make sure the leftovers stay fresh. 5 on Your Side's Ashley Rowe has the latest Consumer Reports testing on the best food storage options.
No matter how you store your food, it's important to keep it airtight. Consumer Reports tests have found that nothing's more airtight for food storage than a vacuum sealer. Testers found this tried and true food saver model is quick and easy to use. If you prefer using vacuum containers, Zwilling's starter set is CR's top pick. During testing, it kept food fresh for 10 days in the fridge. IKEA's stainless steel containers take the top spot in CR's ratings for traditional container options. They're durable, excellent at keeping food fresh, and they're not plastic. If you're tight on space in your fridge or your freezer, consider putting leftovers in storage bags like these ones from Glad. CR found them strong, stretchy, and leak resistant. If you prefer a reusable option, CR says these silicone bags from WP Porter are soft, pliable, and easy to clean. If you're totally cashed from cooking and you just want to get the leftovers in the fridge ASAP, you'll want a way to seal your serving bowls and plates. Reynolds Pitmaster's Choice is the strongest foil CR tested. Great if you're grilling anything this turkey day.
It did so well in our puncture test, and because it's really strong, you can reuse it and save money.
But if it feels too thick to you, Amazon Basics foil is a great backup. CR says Stretch Tight's BPA-free plastic wrap is strong, sticks well, and rips cleanly thanks to its built-in cutter. And when it's time to put those leftovers in the fridge, don't forget to label and date them. Happy Thanksgiving. Ashley Rowe, 5 on Your Side.
Our teacher of the week took somewhat of a different route to the classroom. You're about to meet an educator who is using her experience as a former social worker to enhance the learning experience for her students.
Adika blurted out, "We're having pancakes tonight. Would you please come?"
At Timber Drive Elementary School in Wake County, story time on this day in Carla Norris's class was a lesson in sharing and caring.
A little bit and a little bit more.
Norris is in her 4th year of teaching after a 20-year career as a social worker.
For me, some life experience was helpful. Social work gave me a perspective that I think I can use in the classroom every day. Being a parent, I think, helps me make better decisions and try my best to be a better teacher.
She accepted the stick and led them down the road.
Norris's own story is about making connections, previously as a social worker and now as a kindergarten teacher, shaping young minds.
That's what social work is all about, and that's what teaching is all about. You cannot be effective in either career if you do not earn trust.
Who can tell me what a character is? What is a character?
Building that trust goes beyond story time and academics. Norris is known for attending her students' after-school events and planning special get-togethers when her students are tracked out. But that connection starts in the classroom.
Every day, coming to school and just being able to shower love on these little minds is amazing.
Miss Norris, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week. Give her a big round of applause, class. Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, if you'd like to nominate a teacher, go to WRAL.com and enter Teacher of the Week in the search box.
We are a day away from one of the most watched television events of the entire year, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. A 9-year-old Apex student will be one of those people watching it live. Andrew was born with a cleft lip and cleft palate known as craniofacial difference, and he had a wish to meet the real Santa at the parade. The Magical Moments Foundation is making that wish come true. Andrew told us he wants to wish Santa and all of the other craniofacial kids a very Merry Christmas. He is so sweet. And don't forget, you can watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade live on WRAL tomorrow morning as you get that turkey in the oven. Coverage starts at 8:30 a.m.
And we're here in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. And when they were rehearsing for the Macy's Parade last night, it was raining in New York. And now we're seeing some showers here locally that you've been tracking all morning.
Yeah, this is interesting because in the 3 minutes or 2 minutes that Ken and I have been standing here, this went from clear to socked in with clouds. And we could see the rain on the camera lens. Now that it's cloudy, it's really hard to see it. But definitely this camera lens is definitely covered with rain and, of course, also covered with cloud cover. Let's jump back out and take a look at radar, and we're going to zoom in here. You can see those clouds rolling and showers rolling right across central to southern Wake County right now. Clayton's seeing some rain. Anger, right inside the Beltline, we're seeing some of that rain, and between, say, Garner and Raleigh. And that's going to continue to move off to the north and east. This is all right along our front, and once the front moves on by, drier air and colder air will start to filter in behind it. So that should be the end of the rain. Behind the front, we'll also start to see some clearing. So here's how all of that looks. We'll see that moving on by. By lunchtime, it's totally out of the viewing area, if not before, and we begin to see some clearing. The clouds look like they want to start filling back in for us for the evening, but for the most part, it'll be dry. So rain for the next couple of hours at the most, and then we're dry. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday look nice and bright and sunny and cold. This is a look at downtown, and you can see just a little bit of rain has started to fall. The street there, as we take a look from our Jimmy V camera, is a little bit wet. 64 is our current temperature, and we're seeing that really everywhere. Temperatures are 63 to 64 across the entire viewing area, and 61 to 64 right here in the triangle. So everybody's pretty uniform. Anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees warmer than it was this time yesterday, but we're headed back down this time tomorrow. 74 for Raleigh and Durham, 77 in Fayetteville, and we'll see 53 for the high tomorrow. We're going to see that high temperature today at 74. That cold air comes sweeping in, and again, we end up much colder for tomorrow as well as the entire weekend. Some cold mornings. Friday, the low temperature 30 in the morning, but it'll feel like mid-20s, and we'll see 24 for Saturday morning. So some of the coldest air we've seen so far this season. Highs Friday and Saturday are in the 40s, and it's not much warmer for the rest of the weekend. Thanks, Elizabeth. Before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic next.